Click for IB Biology. We're studying gene expression, and now we're going to take a look at what are called twin studies. There's a blank copy of the PDF that you can add your own notes to. That's linked into the description. There's a 10-question quiz with answers and a channel link as well, giving you an AI prompt that you can use in a chatbot of your choice to customize your own questions. So we're dealing in this particular case with what are called monozygotic twins. So you're perhaps familiar with the expression zygote. Zygote is the cell produced from a sperm cell and an egg cell fertilizing, and mono means one. So we start with one, I'm not sure you can see that, there's one fertilized cell. It's going to then divide, and we'll take a look at this monozygotic twin study. Here's two famous twins, Mark and Scott Kelly, the astronauts, and you can see that clearly they resemble each other a great deal. So in the images here, we've got some more monozygotic twins, this time using 3D ultrasound imaging. The head of one twin is here, its back, its arm, its leg, thigh bone, forelegs here, and of course the other twin is actually facing the other direction. Its head's down here. And here's an example of an ultrasound, a 2D ultrasound showing a double pregnancy of the twins. It's actually not two separate uteruses here or anything like that. Well, it wouldn't be, but this is actually monozygotic twins. So let's just explain a little bit about what dizygotic and monozygotic means. Dizygotic at the cellular level means that we have two egg cells, completely different, genetically different to each other, fertilized by separate sperm cells, resulting in two entirely separate zygotes, two entirely separate embryos, and then fetuses and children, as different as any two children could be from parents, except that they enjoyed the same uterus and development during the pregnancy. A monozygotic twins, however, is that we have one egg cell and one sperm cell. That the fertilized egg then goes through a division, and rather than these cells remaining together in order to create the multicellular embryo, it splits, and this goes off and develops into one child, and this goes off and develops into the other child. But of course they have exactly the same genetics. So within our twins here, which we can see in the uterus, our monozygotic twins are here. So they have the same DNA sequences. So the way that they appear for any characteristic is called their phenotype. We'll call that P. And their genes, that's G. And then there's the environmental effect. So the phenotype, the way something appears, is determined by the genes and the interaction with the environment. So in the case of monozygotic twins, what we know is that the difference between the two twins at the genetic level is nearly zero. Unlike two dizygotic twins or any two children from the same parents, the genetic inheritance is considerably different. So with monozygotic twins, there's the potential to study the environmental impact on the genome. And with two twins from monozygotic, they will both experience the environment in a different way. And as the environment begins to affect the genotype, that does so differently for each of the twins, and so they begin to drift apart, as it were, phenotypically, and we refer to this as epigenetic drift. So epigenetic drift is the impact on the phenotype caused by the environment affecting the genotype. And of course, each of the two individuals of the twin experience the world in separate ways. Even if they spend a great deal of time together, they experience the world differently. And so in this drifting that occurs, we have a divergence of gene expression. The epigenetic impact on the genes, so the methylation of genes, means that genes express themselves later in development in a different way. And where this is studied in the long term, they're called longitudinal studies, then you can evaluate the degree of divergence that starts to occur between the twins. And those differences exist not only at the cellular, biochemical, and physiological level, but they also occur at the behavioral level as well. The interesting thing about interesting thing about twin studies also has implications in the personalization of medical treatment, which is at the forefront of medical research at the moment. We're trying to tailor medicine to the individual, and twin studies are very, very important in establishing the effect of the environment on the expression of genes. So this gives a tool to geneticists to study the impact of the environment on gene expression through epigenetic effects. The link to the next video is appearing in front of you, along with the chance to subscribe to the channel, and there's the playlist you can click to look at the other videos in this topic.